those weird articles that you run into online, like, you know, you'll never guess what they look like now. Like such a celebrity was a teenage child star. You'll never guess what they look like now. So we should get like, you know, Drew Carey all muscled up, and they could run that you know, that picture in the ad and be like, you'll never guess what he looks like now. And then he could poise for his return in the Captain Doggo's Masked Woman Adventures Netflix special that you're going to do. And you'd make him famous again. Ooh. Yeah, I think that's a plan. I think you've already got something very solid. I'll get on the phone.
Make it happen.
We'll see if we can get some bookings rolling, and, you know, we'll see what happens. Let's make some magic.
All right.
Yeah, cool. I want to do something like Kevin Smith, where he like throws in all his friends and does references.
Apparently,
I was a big Kevin Smith fan back in the day.
Yeah, when he and Jason Mewes got Jason Mewes off heroin by doing Clerks. What a great friend, though, right? Like, I'm going to put you in my movie, but you can't be on drugs.
Yeah, Clerks. I remember when that was the thing. But I worked in retail at the time, you know, and I was like, yeah, I really identify with this movie.
I remember seeing commercials for that, like, because I would rent movies on VHS, and there was like a commercial for Clerks. And I'm like, oh, what's this? And like, it was still, you know, getting traction. So it was. Then I started watching
Rats and Chasing Amy, right? Those were the three movies.
No,
those were his big three.
It's Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy. Then after that, Dogma.
Yep, and
Jay and Silent Bob's Strike Back.
Yep.
Then Clerks 2, and then they did more. Well, I don't know if it came out or not, but I know they were doing Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
I think that did come out.
Fan in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Someone who knows
apparently
Kevin Smith's entire videography, right? His entire mainstream videography.
And the Clerks animated series.
Yep.
Yeah, that was my favorite. Was the animated series. I thought that was awesome.
In the Clerks, I think it was like the Blu-ray special. It was like one of the anniversary ones. They include a deleted scene, but from Mallrats, but it's done in the animated series style.
Really?
So it's the funeral scene when they go into to their friend's funeral.
Oh yeah, so in the movie you just see him running out.
Yeah, you just see him go in and coming out, but they animated that scene just for the DVD special or the Blu-ray special. And
I didn't know that.
It's pretty cool. It's really it looks interesting. I'm seeing a cartoon, but it's like the actual like. I think it's like R-rated, so I think they cuss and stuff. They see like the body and stuff like that. That's funny.
So I remember the first time I was watching Chasing Amy, I think it was, because that's like the one where they're all like older and mature and, you know, have had jobs and stuff. And I think it was a scene where they were arguing with Banky, and someone calls an inker a glorified tracer.
Yeah. Speaking of tracers.
Wow.
Ouch.
Frank's going for it, apparently. Jeez.
Peter knows I'm joking. Like, I always call him a tracer.
But I always I thought that was like the roughest way to just, you know, describe someone's profession. It's like, you're a glorified tracer. Oh,
well, you know a fun fact about that involving Peter Palmieri. Jimmy and Joe Quesada are in that movie in the con scene, like just kind of like in the background, like it goes by quick. And they're showing Ash the comic, and that's a character that Peter named. So.
Oh, I didn't know Peter named the character Ash. That's so cool. Right
and
on.
then
Yeah, I remember
Clerks.
Ash.
In Clerks 2,
It does, right?
at the end in the credits, there was the this thing back then when MySpace was a thing. MySpace did their Clerks 2 MySpace did this thing where if you GX.
Seems like Jimmy's an even greater fan than you are.
Yeah, apparently. Get upstaged.
Your mother's a
It threw me off, thinking Peter. 'Cause I didn't see what he wrote. Oh crap!
Read the next one. Read the next one.
Yeah, I saw it. Your mother is a tracer. So in Clerks 2, they were doing this thing, this promo, where if you put the Clerks 2 MySpace page as in your top 8s and you commented on that, your name will be in the credits. So at the very end of the credits of Clerks 2, they do MySpace credits, and my name is in there.
Hey!
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Yeah, so you're in there and Peter's not.
Yeah, we have a connection, me and Pete.
I have a friend who was in Jersey Girl.
I am Pete's. What's the name of the guy that calls him a tracer?
It was Banky, I think, was the guy. Who
Banky's the one that gets called a tracer. That will be Pete. I will be the one calling him a tracer, which Scott Mosier.
Oh, okay. Who does
Mosier.
The Mosier to his Banky?
Isn't Mosier the one who does like podcasts with Kevin Smith?
So,
I mean, he still does.
Sense. Frank's doing live streams. You know, there it is. Makes sense.
I need to get Kevin Smith on the show.
You do.
Hey, Kevin.
We have to tell him how his movies have shaped our lives to the point where we stay up late comparing ourselves to characters in his movies.
Yeah.
I bought the Blunt Man and Chronic trade paperback that like they did the comic like based supposedly it's based in the show. So they actually did it, so I bought that, so I had a copy of that. And so I used to also have the action figures. I had the Jay and Silent Bob action figures, and the Silent Bob had a voice button, but it didn't do anything because he's silent.
He's silent. Yeah. it should say a line like every 50 presses or something.
That's what I was hoping it would say a line, because he does say something.
One thing
in each movie, but just like one little thing. But no, it's just like an empty button, and so you just press it and there's nothing. There's not even a speaker attached to it.
That's funny.
But I had the Blunt Man and Chronic action figures, and also had the Yin action figures. So I had the Golgotha monster, the poop monster.
Oh,
nice. Squeezed it so much it kind of popped off. So,
yeah.
I don't think they I don't think they did. I don't know, maybe later on, but I don't think so.
If there was one figure besides, Blunt Man and Chronic who I would want, it would be Mark Hamill playing Knocker in Jay and Silent Bob. When I saw him come out with like the big fist, I lost my mind. I was dying. I barely held it together through that scene, because Mark Hamill's playing a supervillain with a giant fist named Knocker.
And they actually when his scene comes on, it says it's Mark Hamill, kids, like flashing on.
Yeah.
Because apparently, because I watched all the movies and I would watch them. I would buy them, I'll watch them, then I'll watch them again in commentary, then I'll watch them again in the second commentary. So I was finding out all this stuff, but apparently in the screening people didn't recognize them.
What?
So they had to just they had to literally put it on the screen.
I can get that. I can get that because he's wearing a domino mask, and people haven't seen him on screen for a while. But the dude plays
back then. It was
so when he goes, "Hey, Blunt Man," I'm like, "Oh my god, it's Mark Hamill!" I knew by the voice, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he seemed recognizable to me.